Welcome to theiLife.com. This is episode 4 of our podcast. And last week we talked about Macworld. And this week we're talking about what wasn't at Macworld.
Right, so you might have seen our Macworld Rumors episode, number 2. We basically sat here for about 40 minutes and predicted what was going to happen and sort of debated between the two of us the feasibility.
All the rumors that had ever come out about Macworld.
And that was December. So that was almost a month before Macworld itself. So we're here today to talk not about Macworld entirely, but a lot of people predict yearly what Apple may do, and a large part of that prediction is what happens at Macworld. So we figured maybe we should do something after Macworld, now that it's in the past, and looking out to 2008 and what's in store for Apple.
Okay. So let's see. What did come true at Macworld? Our two main predictions after that Rumors podcast came true.
Three.
Which predictions?
The main one was the MacBook with the MacBook Air, of course. Mm-hmm. The Apple TV. It's not a hardware update or anything. But we did talk about updating the Apple TV.
They changed it enough that people are actually going to want it now.
Yeah.
I want one now. I'm not getting one, but
yeah, they have to drop that price even more. But and then the iTunes rentals.
Yeah.
So the two big ones were the iTunes rentals and the MacBook Air, and then we said about the Apple TV. We did not see Time Machine coming, although
or Time Capsule.
Oh yes, shoot. Yes, thank you. We did not see Time Capsule coming, nor did anyone else that I can find. So that was a little.
Though, yeah, everyone had originally been thinking that Apple was refusing to allow network volumes on Time Machine because they wanted everyone to buy Xserves, but turns out they didn't want everyone to buy Xserves.
Well, do you know the story behind it? They originally promised that over an Airport Extreme you could plug in into your USB and then have
into USB port of the Airport Extreme,
right?
And that didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Because they changed it. It's like close to Leopard's release. But anyway, so. We're here to talk about what lays in store for 2008. So, we saw the MacBook Air, and everyone's saying this, but the multi-touch trackpad is definitely something we're going to see in the future. I think that they get integrated to the MacBook Pros, and then the MacBooks, the consumer laptops as well.
Yeah, and they bought out that ThingerWorks.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah. And
it's taken a long time for them to introduce multi-touch products. And, I mean, I don't even know if these trackpads incorporate...
They say they don't.
I mean, would incorporate even multi-touch technology at all, or if it's, like, fake. I mean, something
True.
like multi-touch. But, yeah, so... It's in the iPhones and iPod Touches, but finally, I mean, they didn't release a tablet.
Yeah. That's
but this is their answer.
Yeah. And, I mean, some of the other things that people ignore is the backlit keyboard in the MacBook Air that uses the same MacBook / Apple keyboard-esque keyboard, but it's backlit, which means two things. One, that's probably going to find its way into the MacBooks themselves, and two, that could mean that they're phasing out these keys things where... You feel, yes.
Even the shiny metallic ones.
Right. Where you, like, feel them and they're close together and you can sort of prick them up with your fingernails. But, you know, that may not happen. But, I mean, they've got them backlit now, so I think that...
Hey, the Pro keyboards now that they're selling externally are the same kind of keyboards.
Right.
Are the chiclet-style keyboards.
Yeah, people are saying that these kind of keyboards may be on their way out. So they've got them backlit. That answers the questions. They could add it to the MacBook and make them nicer, have them backlit. Also, the screens. The MacBook Air uses LED-based display, as does the MacBook Pros for...
since June.
Right? Mm.
So hopefully that's becoming more common.
Yeah, that's good. Definitely find its way into the MacBook for certain, because they're promising by the end of 2008 to be environmentally friendly, which the MacBook Air is. So we should be seeing at least minor announcements getting rid of those chemicals and crap that they put in the computers and people complain about.
But that showed me also another thing about the MacBook Air itself that people weren't originally expecting.
Yeah.
The MacBook Air is not a low-end laptop.
Right.
MacBook Air has become their mid-range laptop, even though it has lower specs than the MacBook. I was surprised that I looked on the Apple Store, on the store.apple.com. They have MacBook, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
And the backlit keyboard is really a sign of that, because they've always, for years, kind of been like, ooh, only the pros get backlit keyboards, and that they're kind of...
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
They might be bringing it to the MacBooks, but it's definitely a pro feature at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's also surprising that they didn't get rid of the MacBooks, that they didn't do anything with the MacBooks.
Yeah, no, that's coming. Everyone sees that coming for both the MacBook Pro and the MacBooks. They've been due for... I mean, they're relatively the same since their introductions. Not to mention, they could use some new processors. They could use minor hardware bump. I mean, that's certainly coming sometime this year. Also, moving away from computers, we did not see Beatles on iTunes. I have no idea what's going on with that. But
that's starting to turn into one of those rumors that, that's like movie rentals, or the iPhone. It just floats around for so long, everyone thinks it's going to happen.
Yeah, and then finally it does when everyone's not really expecting it, but I think that will come. I can't say this year. It'll come.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah. They're doing other things with the iTunes Store. I guess they're trying to move everything onto iTunes Plus, and they're trying to, well, it's another thing, NBC. They want to bring NBC back.
True. NBC should. I heard that there's talks. You might have seen. I don't remember where it was, but someone was saying that NBC may be in talks to bring the content back to the iTunes Store. So that would be certainly welcome, and that really gives iTunes a very strong hold on what it has and draw for new people who want to legally purchase their content. I mean, so that's it for iTunes. I really don't see anything else desired after rentals.
Yeah, rentals definitely saved their movie business, which was kind of wimpy before.
Yeah. Looking closer ahead into WWDC, I think maybe we'll finally see the new cinema displays, because those are pro.
They're pro, and as we mentioned before, there's no eyesight right now. They killed it off.
There's no eyesight, and also for those who may own, use, seen, etc., they're very thick. I mean, they're from 2004, so there's been some technology changes.
Or like this thick at least,
right? Yeah, they're very thick compared to even displays you can pick up at Best Buy and other places that, very thin. So, I think they're due for some kind of upgrade. Maybe we could see a bigger size, 30, 40, 35, 50.
45-inch cinema display.
60.
That would be a cinema display.
I mean, yeah, honestly, though, because, the iMac's slowly been creeping up on those displays. You can get a 24-inch iMac now. So, they've got to start bumping those Pros up. Or at least dropping the price. And I know they've been dropping the price over the years, but gave them a hardware update finally. I mean, are they waiting on something? Maybe I know we need to not turn this into another vague rumors episode, but last year it was LED backlit panels aren't cheap enough yet. But are they still not cheap enough, and Apple's just waiting? Yeah, probably. Hopefully, before 2008, remember we were reading that letter from Steve Jobs. They promised to move to all environmentally friendly products when feasible. Right. That was as soon as they're cost effective. I don't remember the word, but yeah. So if they got LED displays in other things, they're finding their way eventually. So hopefully that's something to look forward to WWDC. Maybe a Mac Pro hardware bump. Those things are always coming. But again, I think I see a very large theme this year with a greener Apple. You can find that letter that Steve Jobs wrote. I'll put it in the show notes. Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes. So, now even closer, now that it's February, we have the iPhone SDK that's supposed to come out the end of this month.